you, Mr Speaker. I come to this bill today as the MP for Te Taitonga, recognising the changed context between when this bill came before the Select Committee and this point, the second reading. In between then and now, this is going to be news to you, a massive earthquake struck which caused damage to the older buildings of this fine school. It's just completely missing from the media, I'm sorry, but it has happened. One of New Zealand's oldest schools, being over 160 years old, it was clearly distressing to witness the damage that which happened when the chimneys tumbled down into the dining hall below. But like so many communities, so many families affected by the quake, it is not the bricks and mortar that have stood out in their response to this natural crisis. It is the spirit of generosity, indeed the expression of manaakitanga that has been so humbling to observe. And so I want to make reference to the support that Christ College has offered, for example, to You Learn, opening additional classrooms to them to replace the old Cranmer Centre that is now no longer able to be used. This ability to think outside of itself, to adapt to the circumstances, is actually the foundation of this bill being presented for debate by the local member, Nikki Wagner. In the specific situation of this bill, the proposal enables the trustees to change the purposes of the original trusts. The change is required to remove difficulties in administering trusts vested in Christ College, which can no longer be applied in accordance with the original intentions of donors. There is, however, the commitment that the trust property should still be applied for educational charitable purposes, or near enough. But just as Christ College opened its gates to consider the needs of You Learn during the aftermath of the earthquake, in this bill, the College has recognised that the purposes and intentions of the donors of earlier days are no longer relevant for modern days. And as Nikki Wagner has pointed out, basically outdated bequests to left-handed rifle shooters, sons of World War I and II soldiers, and pupils from orphanages really no longer fit the times, just as the prizes for sporting events that are no longer run and subjects that are no longer taught. So the bill allows trustees to vary the purposes of charitable trusts in certain circumstances. The bill will also allow the governing body to use, for another purpose, any excess income from trusts that generate more than is necessary for their donated purposes. This is consistent with the Charitable Trusts Act. The Board of Governors of Christ College has assured Parliament that before exercising the power to vary the original purpose of a trust, it will complete a detailed review of the trust to ensure, for the avoidance of doubt, that the original purposes cannot continue to be met fully. Mr Speaker, the Māori Party is happy to support Christ College to update the framework upon which its bequests and assets have been given over the years. The Christ College Amendment Bill modifies the 1910 Christ College Canterbury Act, seeking a law change which will enable the school to use the funds they are privileged enough to receive in a way which is appropriate for this century rather than last. We have read the advice of the Government Administration Committee and are happy to extend our support for the further progress of a bill which is very much along the lines of a necessary and useful update.